Hello everybody, welcome back once again. Got another walkthrough for you here. This time I'm actually going to be playing Unicorn Overlord again. I really do love this game, and there was kind of one thing that I wished that I had done towards the end of my Neuron playthrough, which was to just actually discuss the builds that I'm using in battles and more often, right? Like I think maybe once or twice in the last time I played, I went into some detail in terms of how mostly my main unit was set up. But I think this time I'm gonna go through again, but do all the setups at the very beginning of the video, right? Because I just think that that'll be more useful for people watching, certainly. And I did actually get a comment kind of saying as much on one of the videos. So let's start a new game. I am going to do this, though, similar to the last time that I played, which is to just skip the cutscenes, right? If you're playing through the game, and certainly on Truth, then you'll have already played through the game at least once, right? And so kind of like the storyline-oriented stuff may not be all that interesting. Although I think it at least is a somewhat decent story. But yeah, anyway, so of course the first battle here, or battles, are really just kind of tutorial stuff. Can we even fast forward yet? Oh yeah, we can. Okay. Unfortunately, though, you can't just skip the battles, and I'll eventually do that, probably a lot, right? Like I think that a lot of the battles in like whatever random stages that we're doing won't be super interesting. So I'll do a lot of the skipping, but usually if I remember, I try to at least let the kind of like the boss battles play out, right? Like the final battles of an area, but that's also assuming that I don't forget to do that. But yeah, anyways, obviously the first battles here are just tutorial battles. It kind of lets you see what the characters are, at least some of the characters anyway, what they're capable of. And yeah, you get a feel for how the battle system actually works. One of the things about this game that I guess it's kind of grown on me more is that you don't really, this isn't true turn-based combat, right? Like the battles actually just play out based on how you've set the characters up, right? Like you can determine, at least to some extent, what characters are going to do. Order is determined by initiative, right? Which is essentially just like the speed stat from any other game. Which of course the units with or characters with higher initiative are going to act first. So yeah, it's really about how you set your characters up before the battle actually happens, right? I think one of the earlier things that I didn't really like so much about the game was that you don't actually get to control exactly what your characters are doing. But again, aside from as long as you're setting up the characters well, then that's also kind of okay, right? You can just kind of watch. It's kind of fun to watch how it plays out, and I think building your units and that can be kind of fun, right? You make your little tweaks. Okay, how did this perform? Okay, that that worked or that didn't, and so you keep tweaking things to or until you can get it right or in a way that you like. But anyways, all right. So again, this is another just really tutorial, right? So this battle we only have a lanes unit. I also don't think actually. Let me see if we can. Let me see if we can change formation at all. I don't think you can, but that would be really... No, yeah, you can't move Scarlet, unfortunately. And at the beginning of the game here, and it kind of becomes a little bit more obvious later, but this initial formation is not very good with a lane directly in front of Scarlet. There's going to be some... I think they're called sergeants. They're the early units with the spears that can basically attack what's called a column, right? So if one character is behind or directly behind the other, that's considered a column, whereas side to side is called a row, right? So like if somebody else was next to a lane in the front, on either side of him that would constitute or that would form a row. But all right, so obviously here's the tutorial on getting first strikes, which are huge, right? Yeah, definitely. If you can, you want to stay on the enemies. It's just easier to finish them off, and you'll take less damage. Pretty basic stuff. We'll just skip this, and then this is the just the liberation, right? Taking over a town, which gives a bit of liberation points. Or I'm sorry, valor points, which are very, very important. Very, very important. Can't actually stress how important that is. So here you get to send Lex out to his to his defeat. Like, really, you're running around by yourself against these guys are the house Carls. Not gonna go well for him. Yeah, that physical defense down. It's no good. No bueno. All right, so that's a loss. And then kind of the same thing happens there. This is kind of like the tutorial there on how to, this tutorial is coming up on how to switch your units, right, to defend your other units. So as long as one of your units is in a certain radius of another, you'll be able to swap the units, right? So like right now here you can see, of course, the other unit is going to get a first strike, and also Lex is going to get decimated. So instead you swap to Joseph's unit here, and Joseph is going to absolutely destroy these guys. These are these are still House Carls. Joseph is just insanely overpowered at the beginning of the game. He's a level 20 for one thing, and he's also promoted. Promoted units get to take more actions and have more passive points in battle. I'll show you that a little bit later. Here's the healing tutorial, or the item use tutorial. True Zenoiren, of course. So if you've played any of the other difficulties, actually I don't remember the item limits in the other difficulties. Like, I want to say Expert had like maybe an item count of 10 per battle. Maybe like the other difficulties may not have those limits, or they might be significantly higher, would be my guess. But on True Zenoiren, you only get 5, so you can use 5 different items per battle, and that's it. So that can if you know how to play the game, that's not actually an issue at all. In probably 9 out of 10 battles, I don't use items at all, but yeah, it's just honestly not really that big of a deal. Again, assuming that you know how to kind of play the game. Early on, item use can be much more useful, right? And it can be a way to kind of deal with maybe having some bad units. Yeah, see here, unfortunately, we just can't move Scarlet, which is unfortunate. But this is the battle where it really comes into play. You can see there's 2 soldiers, and they're going to be able to use their spear attacks to clip Scarlet in the back row. I don't know. I should actually see if you can adjust her tactics, though, because that might solve that problem, too. We probably can't, though. Let's see here. Oh, we can. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, no, we can't. My bad. All right. Well, that's a shame, too, because I think, like, quick heal, if you set that to the lowest HP, that would actually... I think... Well, maybe not. Let me see. I don't know if that would actually help or not. Activates after an ally is hit by an attack. Yeah, I don't know if you can quick heal yourself, now that I'm thinking about it. So, there may just not have been any way to do this in a better way, but... Anyway, look at the first strike here. Knock them out. I think the soldiers are more of a threat, so I'm going to go down there and take them out first. And then the House Carls up top there, I'll deal with after. There's level 2. Kind of one interesting thing about these first battles is actually Elaine and Scarlet can literally take out everything themselves, which is kind of cool. I suppose that probably means that then you can't really actually lose this battle. Although with Joseph around, yeah, there was no way to lose this battle anyway. All right, who's gonna? Well, somebody's gonna take some damage. We'll see. Also, weirdly here, your character gets to fully restore their stamina if they run out. Welp. Boom. Oh, that was actually a loss, I think. Such firm defenses. Our weapons barely leave a scratch. Alright, there's the fast forward tutorial, which, you know, I've already been abusing a ton, but very, very good. Unfortunately, here we can't use Valor skills yet, which kind of would have been a little nice for this battle. I assume that we would have been able to get a bit more experience because of the Elaine's Royal Order, but we just don't have access to that yet. So, okay, yeah, that was good. And then this should do it, I assume. Yes. Ooh, smash. Get smashed. Oh, no. One more. I'm gonna need to take one more crack at him. Boom. There we go. Okay. So there's your first tutorial battle. Pretty easy stuff. You know, just keep pounding at him with Elaine's unit. And then here, I believe it's after these cutscenes, we actually get to choose the difficulty. I'm going to skip this. Yeah, just keep in mind, I'll be skipping all of the cutscenes only because I've already, done a full playthrough with all of the cutscenes and dialogue added. And I think if you're interested in watching a true Zenoiran, well, I should say, if you're if you're more interested in the storyline, watch my first walkthrough. Whereas this one is really going to be about battle, and obviously I'm going to be playing here on True Zenoiran, so let's get that set. Also keep in mind that you can't actually change the difficulty once you've chosen True Zenoiran anyway, right? The other difficulties like Expert, you can start out as Expert. If you struggle, you can always crank the difficulty down, but that is not the case with True Zenoiran. You are stuck with that when you choose it, so just keep that in mind. All right, here's the house, Carl. Love those guys. Let's skip this stuff, and we'll get started right away on the second one. Here, Clive is going to talk about the unit formations. I'm not going to listen to the explanation because I know a thing or two about doing that already. So I'm going to move Joseph here into Elaine's unit, but I'm actually also going to change Joseph to being the leader. And then let's go into the tactics, which is kind of one of the reasons why I'm, doing another walkthrough of this game, was to, do a bit better of a job at tactics and showing what tactics I'm actually using. So the only thing here with Joseph that I see, this is probably okay for the time being, but I think for condition 2, you want to go into HP and then choose lowest HP, right? So that will just make sure that Joseph is healing whoever has the lowest health, right? Because the issue with only doing HP is lower than 75% is sometimes there are more than one character whose HP is lower than 75%, and we, again, want him to choose whoever has the absolute lowest, right? Because they are, of course, the ones, most likely to die if they're not healed. Slice is fine. This is already at lowest HP, And then the rest of this stuff is probably fine too. Pursuit is, you don't really need to do anything with that. At least not that I remember. You could maybe do a lowest HP as well on this one. I just don't know that you actually need to. But that's not going to hurt anything. And then lean edge, we definitely want to change that, excuse me, to lowest HP. Noble Guard is fine, and that looks pretty good. Let's change... Oh, I can't... Oh, interesting. We can't actually change... Okay, yeah, we can. All right, I'm going to swap the Recruit Shield over here to Elaine, and then I'm actually going to grab Chloe's Charm as well. These are the Recruit Shield. You can see there a user earns an extra 10% experience. Chloe's Charm, user earns an extra 30% experience. And then Joseph, of course, here has no accessories whatsoever, so I might steal some from someone. Yeah, Hodrick probably doesn't really need his gauntlets. I'm most likely not going to be using him. Oh, can she? Okay. Well, he can't use Scarlet's Ribbon, which I guess is probably okay, but actually that would have been pretty nice on him, now that I'm thinking about it. Get him a little bit of extra. Like, he could have been healing off of his passive points too, but his Pursuit's pretty important, though, at the beginning of the game, so that's probably not so bad. I think I'll probably just leave the Silken Scarf on Travis for now. I might steal that from him later, but... all right, well, now that this unit is all freed up, let's move Travis in here, and then I usually like to put Clive at the back. Kind of same reason here, right? You don't want these units set up the way these two are. And this makes a pretty good unit. Also, let's move Clive to the leader. So the reason why I moved Joseph to lead is because of his mobility. You can see there he's at 237. The mobility of a character only really matters if they're the leader, right? So Elaine, on the other hand, has, very, very low. Yeah, his is only 100. The other thing, though, that's interesting, though, is the leader effect. So Joseph, his leader effect is resist magic assist. So it says take less damage from magic assist. That only applies if he is the leader of the unit. Whereas Elaine's here, and also I should say, you can see the stamina is 5 out of 5. That just means that you can basically engage in 5 different battles before you run out of stamina, or sometimes like assists will take up stamina as well. I usually don't do a whole lot with assists though, which is kind of funny because it's a whole aspect of the game that I almost completely ignore because we're just able to with strong units. So anyways, Elaine does have a 6 out of 6 on his stamina as well, right? So that actually would be a little bit better, but I just don't like that he is, at least for now, he's an infantry unit, which means he's just going to be moving really, really slow. He does have the leader of effect of morale boost, though. It says gain more valor points when defeating enemy units. That's really, really nice, but I will make use of that, but later on in the game, because eventually Elaine will be promoted, and when he does his promotion, he actually turns into a cavalry unit. So, anyways, let's take a look at Clive here. Clive is rocking quick rest, reduce wait time while resting. That's actually pretty nice too. When you rest in this game, like you usually want to rest when you run out of stamina, and the issue with resting, though, is when or if an enemy attacks you while you're resting, they get a first strike on you. And that can be really devastating, like big time, right? It's not even just a true strike. It's that basically your character can't do anything in that battle. So, like I said, it can be very, very devastating to get caught while resting. Oh, he has the same thing. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I ever really looked at the Thief. Thief has quick rest as well. But here you can see Travis's mobility would be a 170 if he was the leader, but obviously Clive is at 300. I think that means actually Clive is a little bit better than Joseph even. Let me see this again. Yeah. Yeah, he's a little weird, right? Like, he's not a full cavalry like the Lancer guys are. But obviously, again, at 237, that's still a really good travel time. Anyways, let's get started on this battle, boy. I feel like I've spoken a bunch about that. Um, which again, probably for people who are interested in playing on Trues and Iron, I feel like probably a lot of that information is not going to be that useful. But anyways, I habitually have to explain. So, anyways, there you can see why this unit is just so strong. I mean, for one thing, Joseph is promoted, right? So he gets 2 actions, and then he's got 2 passive points as well. And Pursuit, of course, is a passive, so whenever Elaine attacks, then Joseph is going to do a follow-up as well. So it's just very, you really want to be bringing him along in this unit. And honestly, this unit here, I'll be using, I mean, basically building off of, and doing. I think it's probably like right around 99% of the battling will be done with this unit specifically here. It's just so strong. I mean, Joseph carries you, or for me anyway, Joseph basically carries this unit probably about halfway, or like until the halfway point in the game, and then once you get to renown rank, I believe it's B, that's where you can promote your units. Then I swap him out for a Sainted Knight, but again, a significant portion of the game I do use Joseph because he's just so strong. Let's get to work here. Oops. Let's bring these guys to the bridge. Prepare yourself. Maybe this time around I'll try to make use of some more units too. For instance, so like cavalry, like Clive here, I actually don't really use cavalry that much. And that's not to say that they're not good units. It's just I typically build other units, I guess, and don't really use them all that much. So I don't know. Maybe this time around I'll try to branch out at least just a little bit more and show some kind of other units other than just like Joseph's unit, killing everything forever. Try to diversify maybe a little bit, but let's garrison there, and then I'm gonna we'll try to take over these ruins with this unit. I'm not sure if that's gonna play out that way, but we'll see. Oh, he actually does steal their passive point. That's cool. It's been a long time since I've used Travis, honestly. Like the first few battles in the game like this, or well, maybe it might just literally be this battle. I use him, and then it's pretty rare later on in the game that I use these guys. So okay, that's that unit down. Oh, yeah, Travis is gonna get worked over here if I attack. Well, that looks like that might just be bad luck. Alright, let's go down there. I'm going to keep Joseph here to take out these 2 that are on their way. And then I might have to go take over the ruins with Joseph's unit. So, some of this too is a little bit of RNG. Like sometimes I've been able to attack those ruins with Clive's unit and be just fine, but obviously this time that is that seems to not be a good option. Yeah, there we go. So here we'll get down this front unit. Boom. Evasion tanks early on in the game are pretty good. I mean, later they can be okay as well. I generally don't think that they're the best way to go, though, right? Like, there's just some units that's not like really good. Mostly because of, and especially like later on in the game, a lot of things start to get true strikes, and true strikes can't be evaded, right? So, characters like Travis will get wrecked if you try to do that, which really is a shame. That there's something that shuts. Well, maybe not a shame, right? It's just that's just the way the game is kind of works, right? Like certain things are just hard counters to other units, right? Like what are they called? The Griffin Masters are really, really good against cavalry, right? They will just wreck you. So, but archers wreck Griffin Masters. So, you know, it's just you got to be a little bit careful about who you're bringing where. But all right, there's a Dew of Strength. That's a permanent stat increase item. Gonna hang on to that for a little while, though I generally don't like to use those right away. Let's move over to the bridge here, and then I'm gonna move Clive up here. After we attack Aubin for the first time, we'll be able to use our Valor abilities. But, oh, this is just a single soldier? That's weird. Okay, whatever. Crack. Just, yeah, I see. Just a way to eat up my stamina. Alright, well, let's attack. This first battle might be a little bit, or we're probably not going to get a whole lot accomplished here. Let's see here if swapping Joseph's tactics are going to help us out at all. Let's do if the target's HP is below 50. Target HP below 50. We're going to do 41 damage, but take 30. That actually doesn't look any better. Let's bump this back up. Yeah, well, yeah, we were definitely going to do more damage, but definitely also taking way more. So, anyways, we'll get a good crack at this guy. Stand true. Yeah, so the long thrust, that's why you don't want Elaine standing directly behind Joseph. Again, probably pretty obvious, but... Alright, so that's the first crack at it. Alright, so here's the tutorial on the Valor skills. I'll just use Plunder here real quick, just to grab a little bit of extra cash from him. Generally, I don't think Plunder is a very good use of Valor points, but, you know, in this first battle, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to use a heal here. We'll just top up Joseph, and then that way, yeah, we can keep taking cracks at him here. Looks like somebody's going to go down here. Oh, yeah. All right. Next. Looks like this is going to get the second guy down. Yeah, one more. Look, probably one more battle is going to end this. One more bite at the apple, as they say. Let's see here. This is not great. So at this point, we have to rest. Now, normally resting right in front of a command post is very, very dangerous, but because we've done a bunch of damage to Aubin's unit here, we don't actually have to worry about reinforcements popping out. And so that's one thing that's really important to keep in mind. You know, if Aubin's unit is completely healed, the next time like a healing action completes, it will actually be a reinforcement action, meaning that another unit will pop out here and, you know, attack us. But again, as long as a unit at a command post is healing, there won't be a reinforcement. So again, keep in mind that's you know, pretty important. But that's also why we're actually completely safe to rest right here, right? Normally this would be a really bad idea to rest right like this close to a command post, but we just don't have anything to worry about. So once this healing action completes, the two units in the front will revive. There we go, at 6 health. And we'll just keep resting here, and now we're good to go. So it looks like we're going to take both of the units out in the front. with this time, and actually it does look like this is going to take, you know, another time now, or another crack at this. So the next attack should be the win. And also, being that that's the case, let's just see here. Yeah, it's going to be 43. Yeah, we're going to win. So what I want to do here is use a Royal Order. It says increase experience earned by an ally unit by 100%. I could have done the first strike thing too, but that oftentimes that's just not necessary for this unit. So Valorous Order, it says increase damage dealt by 20%, reduce damage taken by 20, and grant first strike to all ally units within range. Again, it's maybe obvious why that's so strong, but oftentimes you're just not going to need to do that. So, and of course, it's, you know, 3 Valor points to use that. So I generally try to be a little bit more conservative with uses of that, but there are times where that'll be really important. So, all right, there's the slice. And that should be the kill shot. Good stuff. Glory to the liberation. All right, and Elaine's hitting level 6 just off of that. So that royal was it royal order? Anyway, the one that increases your experience was obviously pretty huge there. Generally, actually not generally, it's always the case that the final battle is always worth like 10 times more experience than the other battles. So very, very good idea to, if you've got the Valor points, to use that Royal Order when you finish the unit. And I should say, keep in mind that you have to finish the unit though, right, to get all of that experience. Just the initial battles, right, like that took, what, 5 or 6 shots at it. The initial battles aren't going to get you the extra experience, whereas the final battle where you actually win, that's where you want to be using that Royal Order. Here I'm just going to create my coat of arms here. I usually go something like this, I think. We use that crown and then the lion guys, even though I should probably keep the unicorn. Okay, that looks good. The heraldry doesn't really matter. It's just kind of what appears on Elaine's shield. I guess we can save. Why not? Call to action. Okay. So, being that we are able to expand our unit here, we'll just go up to the fort and go to expand. And then let's expand that, of course, the first unit there with Joseph and Elaine in it. And there, that completes the quest. Skip this. This is the little rapport tutorial. That's kind of like the, fun little interactions that they threw in there for the game, just to, kind of do a little bit of character building. But all right, now that we've got our third spot unlocked here, I always put Aubin into that back corner. Aubin is really, really good. Let's see. Don't remember how I usually equip him at the beginning anyway. Guess I could grab Clive's gauntlets. So these accessories are probably not going to stay on here very long, but all right, that's fine. And then I actually am going to grab the silken scarf off of Travis because I'm probably done with Travis. And then here, as far as this crushing axe, I won't be keeping on him for very long, but it is good. Crush is really good, right? Inflicting stun is pretty solid, especially at the beginning of the game right here. Let's do HP lowest, and then we'll do, for Smash, we'll do HP lowest as well. Set up like this, though, Aubin will not use Smash. He will only be using Crush. For the time being, again. Eventually, though, I'm going to change his axe, and so he won't have Crush anymore, but And there the change of clothes quest completes. Just skip through this. Here's the supply run, so that starts the next quest. We'll just go to the armorer, and we'll buy some fun stuff here. So I'm gonna buy one recruit short sword, and then let's buy a hand axe as well. And that's probably all I really need from this guy. Eventually, though, I'll end up buying this runic sword. They're kind of interesting. You can see there the physical attack is 8 and magic attack is 14. That actually is kind of decent for Joseph. It'll help out his healing. Unfortunately, though, it will nerf his like his physical damage a little bit. Like his pursuits, right? So, but eventually I may end up using it. And also the magic attack there. It says magic potency 150, attack a single enemy. That can be really, really good for cutting down like armored units. If you're going up against like legionnaires, right? Those are the big guys with the great shields. It can be kind of difficult to deal with them early on in the game. So runic swords are kind of okay for that. Unwavering spear is true thrust. I actually don't think I've ever used. Like literally ever equip this on somebody, but I usually don't use like Chloe early game. But yeah, anyways, all right. So there's quick supply run done. Just skip through this. All right, so we now have access to the world map. Okay, at this point, I think we can talk to these guys, and that starts the little quest on rebuilding Fevrith. So there's you want to grab that node there, and then walk over here, and then go to deliveries. Oops. And we'll deliver all materials. Just skip this. Back out of that. And then let's do station a guard. And we'll station, I don't know, let's throw Chloe here.
I'll keep the peace, Your Majesty.
So you can give gifts to your station characters. I don't think I ever do that really. You just usually don't really need to. It could be like if you neglect using a character in battle for a long time and you need to build a lot of rapport with them later or something, then that's not a bad idea, but I usually just don't bother. All right, let's see what this person, local guardsman. All right, so that should automatically complete because we already stationed Chloe here. And then at this point, let's board the ship. And this will take us back to the, the original island. I'm going to station Hodrick here, since we fought and defeated him here. And then let's see here. All right, so this is we've got the conveyable great shield, sanguine blade, which is really good too. This is huge at the beginning of the game. It says attack a single enemy, recover HP equal to 50% of damage dealt. It's obviously a great way to not only deal damage but also be healing health as well. So very, very good item. You can buy some of the recruit stuff like the shield and the great shield. I'm going to hold off on that though because Elaine already has the one recruit shield that I kind of wanted for the time being. What was I going to say? Oh, so Joseph actually has. Let me see this character list. All right, so I actually have to equip the stuff though. So Joseph has a Templar sword. It doesn't really do you that much good to equip a recruit short sword on him because even though I always equip these for the extra 20% experience, but he doesn't need it, right? You're not going to be getting much experience at all with him. And so to equip a much more inferior sword on him, I think doesn't really make that much sense because you're just not going to get enough out of it. But yeah, there we go. So he's got the recruit short sword and shield on. So he's all ready to gain experience. Oh, and then Aubin, I need to swap his recruit hand axe. So there you go. You lose the crush, but he'll still have smash for the time being, and that's fine. And then Joseph, like I said, no real reason to equip the recruit stuff, because I just don't think it's good enough. This person has a revival orb. I usually actually don't chat with NPCs that much, but not a bad idea in that case. And then here we'll just, grab whatever we can find. That looks like that's not a ruins. That's a chicken for a quest that we're about to do. These are the item on the ground. That looks like that was an empowering draught. That's an item, of course, that you can use in battle. This here is the Shrine of the Unicorn. There isn't anything to do there yet, but quite a bit later on in the game we'll be able to do some stuff there. All right, so this person is the person that has the escape chickens quest, and at that point we just want to run and grab the 4 chickens here. It's really, really nice too, because we're going to get the golden egg as the reward, and that really increases the gold that you get from defeating enemies in battle, which is really the best way to actually get gold. It's not to use it's really not to be blowing your valor points on plunder. Like, I just don't think that skill is not worth the 1 valor point that it costs. I mean, every once in a while, if you're about to win and you've got an extra one, then fine. But in most cases, it's not really worth using that skill. But there you go. There is the golden egg. Let's get that equipped on Joseph right away. I probably just want to replace the golden scarf. Or Aubin. Let's give that to Aubin, actually. He's hanging out in the back, so he's going to be safer anyway. I'd rather have Joseph have a little bit better... Oh, well, his evasion is really, really bad anyway. I guess everybody's evasion is pretty bad right now, but... Yeah, I still think that makes probably the most sense. All right, and then as far as the armorer here, you've got a battler shield. I'll grab that. Dancer's bracelet, because it's got powerful call. And then that's it. I don't have any more money. Sad. Oh, let's station Lex here. Every once in a while, I'll use the powerful call on somebody, but it honestly makes the most sense, I think, right now for Elaine to have it, because he's not really going to be using his PP. Whereas, like, Elaine will definitely use Parting Blow, right? Because that'll trigger at the end of combat. And Joseph will most likely be using, Pursuits or his, like, guard type abilities. So, I'll probably give that to Elaine a little bit later. But not quite yet. Just because I want to keep the, Chloe's charm on him for the time being for the extra experience. But all right, that looks like that's it for here. Or for over here on this island. So, let's pop over here to the harbor. And actually, we're probably fairly done with this video. I guess I could do a little bit of... Actually, I don't really want to do a whole lot of experience or exploration on this one. Just because it's... Well, I don't know. We're only at 45 minutes, so that's not horrible. Maybe I'll just run around a little bit. I think these guys have some quests. This looks like I think this is the mock battles. Yeah, that's sparring session. And then, excuse me. This guy here has the hiring mercenaries quest. It's kind of funny. You can't actually do that quite yet. Just because you need to be renowned rank. Is it D? I can't. Yeah, I think it's D. To do that, but anyway, let's pit Joseph's unit versus Clive's unit. And actually, you have to watch this play out. You can't just skip the battle. Otherwise, you don't get credit for the quest. So we'll just watch everybody miss Travis over. There we go. These thieves can be very pesky at the beginning of the game, but There you go. There's the sparring session done. 5 renown. Also, outside the forts, you'll find if you see the little yellow like sword icon, that means you can do a little battle. We're actually able to win right away. And there's the 2,000 gold for that. It's actually really nice at the beginning of the game. There's some more battles here. I doubt that I'll be able to take the thief. Let's see. Yeah, no, can't do the thief battle. Probably can't do the tank battle either. Don't really have the... Yeah, don't quite have the setup to do that yet. Let's grab some of this stuff, though. Just skip that. Lex can interact with some of these, like, ruins, where he'll just kind of run in there and loot them. And then let's go over this way, though, too, because this is all... this is a bridge that... I'm not going to activate the quest yet because we don't have a character that can repair it, but there is actually a quest to get across that bridge. And I'll do that eventually, but just not quite yet. We already went in here. Oops, this is going to activate this battle here. I'm just going to skip this. The battle for Barbatimo. We'll do that a bit later. And looks like we're good over here too. Alright, this is another little cutscene. I'll just skip this. That's the battle where you get Rolf. Not going to be doing that for a bit yet either. Mostly just because I have other plans for the the next battle that I want to do. Let's see if we can take the house car. Oh, yes, we can. Eat it. You don't need to do all these battles out here with the enemies running around on the world map. Generally, what happens is, well, I shouldn't say generally. What happens is, the area that you see these guys in, like, will be a certain radius, and once you do that battle, you'll essentially take them out. And you do get, I think it's what, like 2 honors or something for every one of those that you beat. But you don't need to really go out of your way to take every single one of them out, right? Because again, once you actually do the battle for the area, they'll all get taken out anyway. But get away from me! Get away from me! And they won't disappear unless you are able to, basically one-shot them. It's kind of interesting too. The battles on the world map they kind of function a little bit differently in that you need to completely beat them in like one battle, right? Like you can't, if you don't zero everything out within one battle, it just kind of, gets stunned, and then you have to try again later. But actually, let's keep going back this way. There's some stuff down here that I think is kind of worth grabbing. Take that. Okay. And then we've got, I think this is a watchman's lantern. Yes. Pretty good accessory, actually. You don't really need it, though, for quite a while. I think that's got I think it's blindness immunity, and then I want to say burn immunity, which is nice, but it just won't really be necessary until a little while later. But anyways, so I should say, so I basically I've been running around here and kind of revealing the battles, if that's how you want to say it, but. I typically don't do them right away. We'll come back and do them later. There's no penalty for not doing them immediately, and it's just kind of nice to run around here and grab some of this other stuff first. Let's go up and grab Just explore back here. And nothing back that way. Try to avoid the gladiator. I don't know if I can take him out yet or not, but we'll pass through the little hidden area there. Nothing back here. Divine shard. Go back through. Divine shard there. Ah, get away from me. Oh, can't quite take that guy fully out. That's alright. Here's a cemetery. There'll be a character that actually we get after the battle that's like right here. Where we'll actually be able to interact with the cemeteries. And then once you have interacted with all of the cemeteries in a region, you'll get a reward. It's basically a quest for every region. Oh, I guess we're taking a. Ooh. I should say fighting the gladiator, not necessarily taking him out. Don't remember if I came back here yet. Nope, I didn't. This battle here is where you get Yana. I guess I could trigger it. Yana, one of my favorite characters in the game, she actually ends up being one of the characters that I use in my main unit or in Elaine's unit. I think I was already over here. Yeah. Nothing back there. Let's keep cruising through here. Right here is Yana's tower. Once you do, or once Yana is actually in your party, you'll be able to, or once she's officially joined, you'll be able to grab that. We just can't. Oh, well, there's an item there, right? Which is the Ice Conferral Tome. It's kind of neat. I honestly don't really use it as much as I used to, but it's still kind of a neat item. But yeah, can't actually grab that until we've recruited her officially. This is just can't go beyond there quite yet. Yeah, here we're getting into the house Carls that look like there's 3 of them. That's why. Yeah, we can't quite take them out in one crack, so they'll hang around for a little bit. I'm gonna dig up this stuff here. Here's Berenice. Guess I could talk to her one more time here. And that triggers the mercenaries trial. Oh, I thought there was something there. I guess not. This is Adel or Actually, I think I used to say Adele, but I think it's Adel. He joins as well eventually. Well, after you do his battle. I'm not going to do that quite yet. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay down here to the south. So the reason why I'm kind of making my way over here is because I want to get to the next kind of battle that I like to do. Okay, and this is where we mine, which you can't do until Berenice's battle is done. I'm just gonna try to avoid this. This swordsman here definitely needs to be avoided. I think we'll. Oh! Hey, that's a good idea to get her. Oh, well, the last time I played through there, that swordsman messed me up. So. There actually is an item there, but we don't have the character yet to grab that, so. Old woman. Man. Wow. That's an old reference. Another graveyard or cemetery. Let's we're getting really close to where I want to be. It's probably one of the things that I kind of do enjoy about this game is that you can explore so much, you know, kind of right away. Right? Like you're not just stuck doing the, I guess it'd be like the battle with Rolf immediately, right? You can kind of run around and do some other stuff first. This battle, yeah, Elaine doesn't even let you go down there yet. That's the battle that takes you into the next region, which is Dragonhold. You can't really, well, you can't do that yet because you have to do the battle to rescue Scarlet first. So, all right, we're getting really close here. Here's the battle for Lanterra. I'm gonna just zip up here really quick though. Oh, one shot him. Gotcha. How about you? Got you too. Here, that collection point right there gets you the honey apples. Pretty much every region has like one of their resources is just very, very rare, and the resource for the Cornea region that's rare is the honey apple. So really anytime you come across those, you want to grab them. All right, I feel like I've kind of explored more to the north here than I really planned on, but that's all right. I think we need to go around here and back down into this area. And here's Selvi. Selvi is amazing. One of the best characters and classes in the game. She's a druid. They're like the uber debuffers of the game. I should try to throw her in a unit early, but we'll see. Oops, didn't actually talk to her. There we go. All right, so here we want to agree to help her, and that will allow her to join, or that'll make her join, and then that triggers the Sigils of the Ancients, and we'll actually be able to do the battles here now. Sigils Trial Beginner 1 is a great place early game to level up, get some cash, because these are repeatable battles, right? So this one is a level 6, but we'll be able to do that right away, and I'll do that in the next video. But here, if you open up the world map, you can see Solitary Resistance. That's the one where, well, I should say, Orvir Harbor, that's where we kind of started out at, and then this is the battle that Rolf is at. You can see there that enemy level is only 3. So, you probably would, or like, I think a lot of people would go and do this next, but I like to run over here to Sigils Trial Beginner 1 kind of immediately, and then, take a couple of cracks at that and get, even a little bit more powered up. So like I said, I will do the Sigils Trial Beginner in the next one, but as always, I hope the guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.